4, Leshrac 5, but you don't want to get ahead of yourselves. And for Boom ID, they pick up the Warlock, which is a hero they pick a lot. It's like one of their most picked heroes the past few days. Warlock, Gyrocopter, Fatal Bonds, Flat Cannon, Golem. Pretty strong team fighting. It's very tough to fight into. And now you don't have a Naga to, like, when the Warlock Golem gets dropped, you can't just song and leave, unfortunately. So you kind of have to think about, okay, well, what do we do what do we want to do against this Warlock Golem? Can we take advantage of when the cooldown is running still, like they won't have the Golem? God. I'm just...
You screwed yourself because you said cooldown. Right?
Yeah,
and you're trying to say cooldown again.
Yeah. Well, listen, I felt on the ball last night, and tonight I'm just... I felt like I got a lot of sleep, more so than I have gotten recently. The problem is I'm going to bed at like 2 p.m. and I'm waking up at like 9 p.m. My body is fucked. It is completely and utterly screwed. And that's a pretty big problem, So I don't know. It's also hot out, and my room's right above the garage, which means we haven't turned the AC on. And I'm complaining about a whole lot of crap that doesn't matter. I don't know why I am, but...
What? It's your life. It's important.
Yes.
So you got a lot of shit going on. That sounds awful.
I had to get that out of the way. But
it's good.
Anyway, Beastmaster's been banned out this time, although they didn't have the best game with it for Lucas on Boom ID. They'll take it away. They just don't want to give them that hero. And I think Beastmaster, Gyro, Warlock, that's even better. I also like having like Beastmaster, Warlock in a lane would be fine, but it's probably going to be Warlock, Gyrocopter anyway, which is also really good because it makes the hero tankier than he usually is. Like Gyrocopter pretty squishy, but with Shadow Word, it's a lot harder to kill him, actually.
There's no contesting a lane through sustain against Warlock. The level 1 heal is so ridiculously strong. The way you deal with this hero in lane is by having enough damage to actually kill. But in most duel lanes, you don't have that unless you can actually catch out the Warlock somewhere with like a Tusk, for example, or with like Leshrac Sand King, double stuns. But yeah, I mean, this hero feels very strong. Duel lanes favor Warlock so much since he is very experience hungry.
I was just about to say, it's interesting how little Warlock is picked in a tri-lane meta, and then completely different when it's a dual lane meta. And like these, like even like heroes like Spectre too. Like, all these heroes are getting more of a chance to be picked, and I think it's really cool that we get to see a different side of Dota instead of just like, all right, we're going to try lane, maybe get some roaming going on and hope for the best. You actually have to battle in these lanes, so it's all about who has the better lane setup, and I think Warlock really helps with that. But Boom ID will go for the Kunkka.
Okay, Kunkka, even more AoE to complement the Fatal Bonds and just a massive team fight coming out from Boom ID. This is a lineup that Taskus Titans would have... I mean, this could be their lineup. You know, they probably play this exact same style as well.
One thing I'm concerned about, if you don't have Golem, hitting Ghost Ship and Torrents, you're going to have to rely heavily on X marks. It's not... They don't have that much regular lockdown. Like, there's Homing Missile, which is not really... You can't use it that great in terms of actually getting stuns.
It's not as instant and reliable as, like, a Blink Sand King stun, right?
Exactly.
Like, while it is good catch in a team fight for you to X somebody and then chain all your spells together, it's not the most reliable thing. You can get Blink Sand King stunned. Things can happen. People can press their BKBs, but all right, Bane comes out. I'm a bit worried for the team fight from Taskus Titans. Like, how do you fight into this Warlock, Gyrocopter, Kunkka? These heroes, Sand King, Leshrac, they're strong for sure, but then you have Bane on top of that. Bane is like, when your team fight's weaker, there's no way he can sit there and actually channel grip.
Yeah. He's just going to get torrented or something. He'll probably die, too, to the amount of damage they have. These heroes aren't the strongest heroes.
They're all just going to die to AoE at this point.
Yeah. They need something to round it all together. DK would probably be one of those heroes that can be up in the front lines, but then you're picking a DK against a Kunkka, which is, again, a pretty good matchup for the Kunkka. I don't know. I mean, they need some way of... actually man fighting against this team, and it's not like they're like able to split. There's no tower push other than Edict, but that's going to be a long time until they have that ability. So
yep, it also makes you very vulnerable, right? Leshrac, not a tanky hero. You have to really get in there.
So
much different from like a Dragon Knight just slow sieging a tower.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess you could go something like Death Prophet, but I'm not even sure how good that's going to be against Kunkka. And
it sounds like I can't think of a hero they can pick to salvage their team fight that isn't like way over the top. Is not like a core hero. You know what I mean? Like Silencer sometimes works against these style of lineups where you have to chain big ultimates together.
Oh
If you
God.
actually have a way to start the fight, ET even more team fight and catch coming out for Boom ID. And also their lanes are strong. ET, this guy owns dual lanes. He just runs around with his briefcase or his staple gun, whichever you prefer to call it, and beats people up. But okay, Ember Spirit, very nice, right? Look at the lockdown from Boom ID.
Yeah.
We were talking about how unreliable it is, right? Ember Spirit definitely abuses that.
Even with X, it's pretty tricky to catch Ember Spirit. And Elder Titan, of course, is not an instant disable. You know, you need to set stuff up with the ET stun, or rather have the ET stun set up for you with a stomp. I would like to have an instant disable last pick for Boom ID, and it's probably going to be an offlane unless they want to get the Elder Titan actual farm in the offlane. Like right now, it's looking like Gyrocopter, Warlock safe lane, Kuka mid, Elder Titan +1 in that offlane. And they need something with direct disable. And that might have been like a Roar or something. Of course, it was banned out. So I'm not sure what choice you go for then. That's the one worry I have for Boom ID is not being able to catch an Ember Spirit. And the last pick for Taskus Titans also being something mobile. That could be pretty rough for Boom ID. But other than that, they have really good team fight.
Yep, agreed. All right, Taskus Titans, they ban out the Batrider, so an offlaner with that sort of instant initiation. What are they going to pick? Razor. Okay. Razor, pretty good against the Gyro. He's a hero that is basically hasted, kind of like the Gyrocopter, and you just follow him with the link the entire time.
Yeah.
Super strong laner.
Yeah, it's true. He could be pretty good. You know, I actually wouldn't mind seeing like an Axe here for Boom ID. Somebody that has really good lockdown and could really own Ember Spirit if he doesn't get his abilities off, like the Remnant. But he might have some trouble against a Razor or an Ember Spirit for that matter in the laning phase. Like Elder Titan's ownage, but an Axe might not be the best idea. Okay.
Furion, okay.
I guess
interesting.
this is good because he's an Orchid builder, right? Like,
yes, that is going to be their form of control for the Ember Spirit.
yeah, and they desperately need that Orchid. Like, that's going to be his, like, he'll probably go phase drums and then for the Orchid, and he really needs it too in this game. So again, there is some lack of lockdown for Boom ID, whereas for Taskus Titans, they get off like a 2-man, 3-man Burrow Strike. They can follow it up with a lot of disables. Well, mostly the Splitter. There's really not that many follow-up disables, actually. But again, the team fight's really good with Boom ID.
That was a very interesting last pick, Nature's Prophet. Like, this hero typically doesn't offer much in terms of fighting capability. Like, when he comes to a team fight, he outputs like half the damage of a regular offlaner would. No real disable. The ultimate is nice for global pressure, and of course the pushing aspect is solid. But he doesn't scale that well, and if he falls behind in lane with like a death or two, he just doesn't feel like he does very much.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you're relying on Orchid for Ember Spirit catch, if this guy has a good game, like he'll probably go Yules, especially against the Kunkka, right? Because you can Yules yourself to dodge out on the X and a potential Orchid later on.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, I mean, they might not have anything reliable for this Ember Spirit for a very long time.
Yeah, and then he could just, split push. He goes bots this game. It's going to be tough to kill him. I actually think they're going to maybe have to rely on like a Golem, and somehow the Ember Spirit's going to get stunned by it somehow. I don't even know. Like if they can Golem into like a torrent or something, maybe they can do it. They'll need a Hex at some point. Like, they almost will have to have one with the Nature's Prophet later into the game, but I'm not sure he's ever going to get to that point. But we'll wait and see how it goes. Nature's Prophet, we've often had this conversation, you and I, where it's like it's not really a master of anything other than split pushing. It's really good at doing that. Everything else, though, in terms of fighting, in terms of trying to get kills, in terms of pickoffs, he's not as good as some of the other heroes in this game even are, so...
Right, and you don't see that potential come out until way, way later in the game.
Yeah. But the good news is he has really good base damage. He has picked up an Orb of Venom. He'll have Treants in lane, and it is a dual lane. So him and ET together, unsurprisingly, will be able to dish out a lot of damage. So this bottom lane needs to be very careful. It is the Razor down here for now. Eventually going to be joining him, unless they decide to go aggro try, which could very well happen. Boom ID going to need to be careful.
I think that'd be their best option. Like, this is not a good lane for Razor at all. The Treants with the ET, just clicking him, ET will be fast as well with the Astral Spirit.
Yep.
2 mangoes too, so we can just spam that forever. And yeah, he's already walking top. They're going to switch it up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Looks good.
We'll see who TP's out. The thing is, it's really good for him to walk top because if they like TP on the dire side, he just TPs along with them.
Exactly.
That's the problem here with Boom ID. They didn't have enough deep vision. They don't know where the Razor is anymore. And that's a really good call from Taskus Titans that might actually do a lot for them in this laning phase. But we'll wait and see. It is, of course, it's going to come down to maybe they can kill this Sand King. You know, he's going to be playing in the off lane. And Leshrac. Uh-oh.
Oh,
wow.
Courier.
They actually backed it up. I am surprised. How did they know?
Spidey senses were tingling.
I guess. It's not like you don't think about a Leshrac and think, oh, he's going to kill the courier. I guess maybe they were just thinking about it. But, interesting. Alrighty, the link comes out from Scamberloo. 22 damage stolen. And then Enfeeble. Okay.
Enfeeble and static link. With the sleep, too, for later.
That's pretty nice. Luckily, they didn't static link the gyro, so it's actually just... He's not missing as much damage as he should have. But yeah, that's pretty annoying, right? It's like, what are you doing against that? Statically Enfeeble. I know they nerfed Enfeeble, but still. Doesn't even look like they nerfed it that much. Like, it feels like 100.
It does the exact same thing.
It feels like it has 100% uptime still. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not 100%, but...
Oh, it is, actually.
All right, they glyph RR getting dove, but now they're going to TP in, so they did force the TP rotation from Bimbo. He was looking for the courier. They haven't found it. Of course, now that they see Bimbo, they can probably just back up. Sprout comes out blocking, and RR does a burrow strike in one, but Lucas just needs to run at this point. They're getting a little too aggressive. Now they can finally send the courier out safely. I think he wanted a salve. He's finally going to get it. Now it's actually just a Bracer and Tango, which is going to make him tanky enough, I think, to be fine in this lane. Yeah, so even though top's annoying, they're still going to maybe get a little farm for Fervian, but it's mostly going to be this Nature's Prophet and this Kunkka that are going to get things going in this game for Boom ID because of how the lanes are set up.
Yep, agreed. Furion is set up to have a pretty decent lane up against the Sand King, but now that ET's kind of being harassed out by the Leshrac, you can't do as much. You can't really come into that double stun without taking a ton of damage.
Yeah.
So it's Sand King's got a free lane now with the Caustic up against the Treants.
And of course, top is still going to be annoying for Fervian for Dreamacell. But
yep, 4 last hits on the Gyrocopter.
Yeah. Gyro, one of those heroes that really relies on kind of snowballing, especially in the early game. That's not necessarily going to happen this game, so he's going to have to try to figure something out otherwise. Maybe they can TP in Lucas at some point and try to find a kill, but it's so hard against Bane. Like, Bane just feels like it's so hard to fight into. Yokum might just be dead. Split Earth comes out, the Lightning Storm as well. It's pretty tanky. He actually, I think, is fine. He's going to Astral and look for Stomp. It does hit. Might be enough to get the kill. Nice. Treant's trying to block. Yokum's going to hit him twice and die. And Yokum might still go down, but doesn't look like he will, actually. It's first blood coming out. That's for Lucas. That's probably the best they could have gotten in this lane. And that's the issue when you try to go on an Elder Titan. He has a lot of HP and actually okay armor.
Oh boy, stun misses down bottom, but yeah. I feel like once Taskus Titans gets more levels on the Sand King Leshrac, then there's pretty much nothing that Boom ID can do in this lane anymore because you'll get chain stunned to death.
Yeah.
So they have some time to play around in this lane, but eventually they'll have to leave.
Yeah, maybe the Elder Titan goes top then and forces more or gets more farm for the Gyrocopter. For now, they're just doing fine. Ember Spirit, surprisingly, having a pretty good time against FBZ. I would think that this is more of a Kunkka favored lane, but I guess he doesn't really care. They're both able to get CS, so that's cool.
Yep, they both just farm and push the waves back against each other since Kunkka has no reliable way to take out the Flame Guard. But they are ganking up the mid lane. They've got the chains into the stun.
Bracer. He's pretty tanky. The Shadow Word comes out now. It's like, it's got to be tricky to kill him. They almost did with the Lightning Storm, but not enough. Astral.
Oh, excellent torrent.
And here comes the Lucas. He needs a Sprout. Instead uses the Treants. He's out of mana now. Stomp will miss this time. They can still maybe kill him. He has Phase Boots. And Feeble comes out, and that's going to make it a little bit harder. So a good effort from Boom ID to try to turn that around and capitalize on that rotation, but they missed out on the kill.
Yep, it was very nice. The Kunkka torrent hit right before the chains came off, so he actually managed to outrun it.
RR gets a double burrow. Here comes the Split Earth, and they might find Nature's Prophet.
There's no damage.
Now, that's the issue. Lightning Storm, Fairy Fire, nicely done. Even if Lucas dies here, he's still going to at least get that assist. Brain Sap does come in. They called for the get back. FBZ says just run. Yokum going to try. The unfortunate thing is this is at the worst possible time. He's 10 seconds away from the bounty room, but he will have at least the shrine to work with. So they're going to lose, I think, all of these bounties other than Kezcute getting the one top.
So how is our gyrocopter friend doing? 11 last hits.
And he is in deep. And yeah, that's the best possible play he could have made. Good TP, no Bane to cancel it with the Nightmare. FBZ gets a kill on Jamesy in the mid lane. They rotated everybody back in. Luca has been involved. And Skimberlu actually finds Kezcute, who doesn't go for the TP. I don't think he had one. So he's down. I missed 2 of those kills. What a battling game.
That's okay.
Man. Interesting stuff, though. Like, all these plays being made.
Action-packed. They managed to actually kill Ember's Spirit before he hits level 6, so that's a big deal.
Yeah. And he has to walk back to lane. He tried using a TP, I think, or he did use a TP to get back to lane after he healed up. I'm not sure which it was. But him having to walk is kind of annoying. And the Kunkka got some farm in the jungle, it looks like, and now, you know, Lucas is going to get some CS and experience. X marks.
Mid again.
And Torrent misses. A little too early on that X marks pullback, but they could still maybe kill him. Yeah, Lucas just does 1 million damage. 2 more auto attacks. He's close. Trying to TP in, but
he's TP. Oh, Jesus.
He canceled it. He knew that he TP'd incorrectly there. So it was a good effort. That would have been another huge kill because he was right about to hit level 6, especially with the siege creep. So
yep. If they would have managed to get that kill, they would have done a ton of tower damage because it did line up with the siege creep. But unfortunately for them, it does not happen. They missed the torrent after the X. But, Gyrocopter stunned up top.
They need a Shadow Word. Now they have the TP. Ferbian sticks up Plasma Field. He's dead. The Ghost Ship coming in. They'll lose the Gyro, but they'll get Skimberlu and the Leshrac. So FBZ will find himself a nice little stack as well, which they were trying to get to the Gyrocopter to get back into the game. If they kept him alive, that would have been huge for Boom ID, but he does fall, so.
Yep, that's the biggest struggle for Boom ID, getting their Gyrocopter back into the game. He needs stacks. He needs to make some great rotations.
Okay, this is a hefty dive. He's not got enough mana. He does have 6 wand charges. No Sleight of Fist, but he's level 4 on Ferbian. And my God, if he died again there, that would have been, I don't know. I don't know what that would have been. Pretty awful.
Disastrous.
Yeah, there you go. Not great, but for now, he's alive, and that's all you can hope for. But they're going to encroach upon Yokum bottom. Plasma Field misses. They do have the Bimbo Leshrac getting the stun. And now Bimbo's the one in trouble. Sprout? Yes. Where's your Quelling Blade? You don't have one. FBZ gets an easy kill with a Torrent, or has to Burrow Strike himself to safety, and he does. X-Marks was available, but it just wasn't in range. Kezcute has a smoke that he used to drop a ward. They're still chasing Skemberlu. The X-Marks range is just awful in level 1, but they're going to find it anyway.
He's got him.
Static Link, though. Ghost Ship coming out. X-Marks nicely timed. Sidebringer coming in. Skemberlu. That Sprout actually might have lost them the kill. They need like 2 auto attacks. He's going to salve up. Yep, I think that Sprout actually lost them the kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And Ferbian almost dies mid, but instead they're going to get Reor out of it. Kezcute with a haste rune actually saves the life of the Gyrocopter.
It saves the day. Everyone's so low leveled in this game. Gyrocopter's level 5. Razor just hit 6. Ember just hit 6 a little while ago.
Yep.
Pretty crazy stuff. Down bottom. Yeah. Can they actually get him?
Eye the Storm. I don't think there's anything you can do here. The Razor's too fast. They don't even need to disable. They can just run him down. Once the Razor gets his like level 7 and is, you know, has decent move speed, he can just run people down, and that's exactly what he did. But you're right, the experience is pretty rough for all parties involved. You know, the Kunkka's doing fine, I guess, but I like the fact that they gave Ferbian the mid lane because that was one way he can get back into the game, and they could just give top to somebody else while they're off doing their own thing. And getting level 6 on the Warlock is going to be huge too, so some nice moves from Boom ID in that regard.
Nobody can only stand in front of the Sand King safely, so they give it to the lowest level support, so even if he dies, no big deal. And yeah, giving Gyrocopter the mid lane is something he desperately needed. So, good moves, good moves.
Wow, that is 2,000 gold on the Sand King. My God, I kind of just stopped looking at him at some point and just realized he has a lot of net worth. He's the 2nd highest net worth in the game. That is such a critical timing. I am a huge fan of getting your blink early, and if you can, using it to the max potential and taking these awesome team fights. And it's going to be close to when they want to fight. You know, they have everything they really need, except for maybe grip. That's the only thing they're lacking.
Well, he's gonna have a blink dagger when Gyrocopter still is sitting on 800 HP.
Oh,
So,
God.
easy pickings.
Fervian is just going to get destroyed. Speaking of the blink, that's the blink used to kill the Warlock. That could have been a better blink reveal, actually. And now RR, if he gives... That's a sentry.
There's a sentry.
That's him dead. That's all that...
Oh.
Oh, my God. He just gave him like 1,000,000 gold, I'm pretty sure.
That's the solo kill. Tons of experience, tons of gold, and space to farm.
Oh, man. I thought that was going to be a great timing and all. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but if they lose Bimbo, it might be. Holy shit, he got evaporated. And 1 second the horse is there, 1 second he's not. No dancing for you, my friend. So that'll be the Gyro's Aquila, his stick. He's going to have phase boots soon. It'll get him close to drum as well. And the road to the comeback is there, just like that. You blink out of the wrong target. I know going for the Warlock would have been nice, stopping him from getting level 6, and it's a free kill, but they did not expect the Sentry to be there. And that's rough. And speaking of Warlock, he's level 6 now. There is a ward, but it doesn't see him smoke, and maybe they could find... Oh, maybe they know. Skimberlu's TPing out already, actually. The smoke isn't going to do anything. And that ward actually just wore off, too.
Wow. Quite fortunate.
Yes, I would say so. And now the Gyro is in danger.
Oh yeah, Sand King's just camping and waiting. There it is.
And he has no HP, and now he's dead. Maybe not. Golem. They need to Shadow Word him. They do.
He's fine.
The call down slows there. That's Rip on Kunkka. He's still alive. Earth Splitter. How is he still alive? Oh my God, he actually gets a kill out of it. They do get the kill with the Sand King, but now... Oh my God, the Remnant. The Urn Charge! He's going to have to Remnant away again. It's going to be close. He's trying to TP. Oh, the homing missile! Oh my God. It actually gets the kill. And they're still fighting. Gyro's back in the fray. They get another kill. It's Leshrac getting dropped down. The sleep is still there on the Razor. Static Link, they've got the Sprout. They need 2 auto attacks. They're going to find it. Epicenter looking for 2. It's going to find it. It's a lot of damage being dealt, but RR can't do it on his own. He's got Blink in 8 seconds. He's got Stick Charges. He has Burrow Strike. The buyback, the Remnant in. This could be huge for him. Luca's in trouble. Fervian, they're going to try to man fight. Jamesy might get 3 out of this if they're not careful. RR comes back and he dies to the Rocket Barrage. Jamesy's going to fall. It's a dieback. Kescute gets a double kill. And that could have been amazing. All of those kills for Jamesy could have been huge. But instead, he not only loses his life once, but he loses it again. And look at that fight recap. 1,600 gold for Boom ID, whereas Titans, they lose 78. Oh, my Lord.
The double deaths, all the Ember Spirit mod, it's so sad. It cripples his progression. Imagine if he bought back as the Epi was being channeled so he could actually get damage off on both heroes at the same time there. Maybe they can actually turn it and get something good out of it, but X up top, Skemberlu.
This is a tough kill. Again. He's pretty tanky with the Bracer and Treads.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is. If that's a phase build and he's not going for Drum for Skimberlu, he's just dead, right? Because he had Strength Treads on, wouldn't have the Bracer to work with. He's probably dead there. But they can't find it. They do push him back at least. And, yeah, you're right, though. The Ember Spirit is... He's mega sad. You know, he's not going bots. He went for Treads. He's going to work on Maelstrom, so he can fight. You know, he can still be all over the map, but he's not going to find as much farm as he would if he went for the bots build. And just like that, this Gyrocopter is 200 gold behind the Ember Spirit, which is pretty impressive considering the start that he had. And they are loving life. They're going to get the Tier 1 tower top lane. They're going to rotate bottom, push that out, try to get a Tier 1 bottom, and just wait for Golem to be back up. And with that, they could fight again, which is up in 30 seconds, actually.
Yep. The team fight from Boom ID is so strong. Oh, Jamesy making some moves down bottom. There's the setup.
And they're going to find the Nature's Prophet. Bimbo's going to trade his life for it. Jamesy has a homing missile on him. They're running it with Yokum. If they could find a stomp, it would be nice, but it's really... That's an epicenter.
That's the bait right there.
Earth Splitter does hit on the Jamesy, but where they need more, they have FBZ coming in. The Ghost Ship, he's going to try to Remnant this. Nice Nightmare save. That was really good, but he's dead anyway. And here comes the Warlock, and he's got a DD. Rior, get the hell out of here. The Burrow Strike away from RR. He should make it out. Rior will not. FBZ is cleaning house, and now the Razor finally rotating in as he's regened up. But again, they still have Golem. If they fight into this, this could be very dangerous for Titans. They'll TP in Bimbo on the Leshrac.
They want to fight this.
And they're going to go for it. The Lightning Storm comes out. They have a Torrent. They have an X-Sparks. Now they're going to find FBZ. And he walks up a little too far. The Golem's not there in time. And now all of their damage is gone. And Kescute's dead. That's a little too aggressive. That could have been good for Boom ID, but they really took a pretty poor fight there. They did get the kill onto the Leshrac. Dreams is in. He TP's in, but he's a little too deep, and now he might die as well as Kimberloo steals a million damage.
Oh, Jesus.
That is an ultra kill, and just like that, whatever gold they lost in the last few fights, they have gained back that and then some. And that's really good for Tazk's Titans. What a fight. That's 2,000 gold. 1,200 of which is going to the Razor. So,
wow, this is a huge game-changing moment. This is a team fight lost while you used your Chaotic Offering. Your super long cooldown ultimate on your Warlock is now down for 130 seconds, and you still lost the fight. Like, now Tazk's Titans have the entire map to do whatever they want. They can take both Tier 1 towers, they can farm the entire map, and I don't think Boom ID can fight them in this downtime.
yeah, they're gonna have to just wait. You know, even with Ghost Ship and all that good team fighting stuff that they have, it's gonna be tricky. By the way, I don't think FBZ used his armlet before he got caught in that fight, and that's what killed him. I think he's dead anyway, to be fair. But
Right, it was the Sand King stun around the corner.
yeah, it was Sand King stun with the Leshrac stun to follow up, and then they just burst him down. So he wants to go Daedalus. I'm more inclined to believe you might want to consider purchasing a BKB at some point, or even like a Blink Dagger. But for now, you know, still early on into the game. Despite Boom ID losing that fight, it's still very close. Golem's back up in 80, and they're going to try to make something happen. This is the exact timing window you were talking about. And FBZ would be the biggest target, and he's going to die. He gets the armlet on, but where's the follow-up? They're going to grip him. There's nobody here to help him. He's just dead, I think. Nothing he can do about it. And that's just him being on his own. Really unfortunate for him.
And this is the segue into that top tier 1 tower. No Warlock ultimate, no Kunkka for 35 seconds. No hopes of defending that tower.
This Razor is now top net worth hero. He has a Hood of Defiance. They're going to dive Kezcute. There's nothing he can do. He's so squishy. This is even without the Maelstrom. They're going to call down a TP in Jamesy. They need to stop. They have the homing missile on him. He'll try to remnant away. Homing missile still chasing. Series Chain's coming out. The Stomp is... He can't remnant away, but the thing is that they're just not there. They do have the Earth Splitter. Static Link coming out. Oh my god, he actually got away somehow. Well, maybe not. Alright, I spoke too soon. Still, Skimberloo is doing a lot of work. They need to run. Bimbo just take down Lucas. I think down bottom it looks like they're fighting still.
Yep.
Yeah, they got the kill on the Nature's Prophet. Still, they get a good kill for Boom ID onto the Ember Spirit. Jesus, what is wrong with me tonight? Holy crap. Woo!
Jamesy.
Yes, thank you. I was trying to think of the hero name, not the player name. I knew it was Jamesy. I just couldn't remember if it was Ember Spirit or Razor. I'm just tired. I think that's the issue.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work.
I'm trying.
Yeah, look at the gold all of a sudden, right? Sand King, 3,100 gold on him. He wants to work towards the pipe, which will help a ton with a lot of the AoE magic damage, but is that the item against Fatal Bonds? Does that actually do much? I don't think it does.
Wait, which item did you say?
Pipe.
Pipe,
Sand
yeah.
King. He has it in his quick buy, but I don't think he'll actually buy it.
They already have a
If he
pipe
does.
on the Razor, or he's building into it anyway.
He's got the casual hood, then Yules, right? Yeah, not actually gonna finish the pipe.
I guess he could finish the pipe, but I guess the Yules is probably better against, like, to break up the team fight that Dire have.
Yep, it eliminates their catch in the Kunkka, right?
Yeah.
You can always Yules yourself during the combo to survive.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they need to do in this game. They'll pick up the Yules instead for the Sand King now, so that's another way to break up the fight.
Okay, that looks much better. I don't feel like the pipe's actually going to do anything to Fatal Bonds in these team fights.
Yeah, that's true. So now you have Warlock going back up for this level 8 Warlock. They could try to make a fight happen. They're down 1k. They would like to finish the BKB first for Gyrocopter. This is the play I like for Fervian. They didn't do it in the last game for Titans. They didn't lose the game because of it, but I thought that him not getting BKB was pretty rough. They're going to get it first this time, but he's still a ways away, and they're going to run aggressively. And there's a lot of vision for the Radiant. They're just going to wait up high ground. And this is very... I don't know what they were doing here. I don't know what that was. That was just not... I don't think that was very intelligent at all. They literally walk up high ground, and they have no vision.
Everyone's mother told them to look both ways before crossing the street while they were like 6 years old. Well, in Dota, kids, don't walk up cliffs.
Yeah, that's
that vision.
That is it in a nutshell. They literally did not look both ways, and they essentially got hit by a bus. It wasn't they got hit by a car or a scooter or a bicycle. They got hit by a freaking bus walking up high ground there. You have no vision. There's one sentry. That's it. There's absolutely no wards. The rest of your team is here on the low ground. What did they think was going to happen? I don't know. It did not work out.
It did not indeed. And when you lose team fights with a lineup like this, right, where you're super, super dependent on team fighting with Warlock, you know, with the AoE from Kunkka, with Gyrocopter, like, Gyrocopter's not farming creeps this game. not very quickly at all. He has 91 CS at pretty much 20 minutes. That's not, you know, ideally he would probably like to have like 60 or 70 more last hits at this point of the game. It's all about team fights for them. So they desperately need to win all these fights.
And it's crazy. They take like 2 or 3 fight wins early on into the game, and you see where they're at net worth wise, and then they lose those fights right in a row, and now you see where they're at net worth wise as well. 3K down. You know, this Razor's starting to become a problem. He's working on a BKB. He has sent out, I believe, the Yule Scepter. I think it's flying over the courier. It is. So killing this Razor is going to be tricky. They do have the Orca for Nature's Prophet, but again, against they have the Yule Scepter. I mean, the Ember Spirit's going to probably get Yules too. He's actually really close.
Yep, they're going to have 3 Yules for the Orchid and just the X combo, so they'll become super, super slippery in these team fights.
I think they smoked on a ward again. I think they like smoked in the river. And they've already scanned for Radiant. They're back at towers. They definitely smoked on this ward.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And so they're not going to find anything with it. Maybe a tower push. But they glyph it, and now they're going to go top instead. There's going to be the Orchid. Bimbo is going to die for it. They're finally going to get another kill after a long time. But now the Epicenter coming out, and Lucas is dead, and that's a much better trade. And even with the 6, he's dead. Art is just too much damage. Good Yule Scepter. Meanwhile, they're fighting mid. Jamesy's getting low. They dropped Golem. This is actually a really good fight. I didn't see what was happening in the mid lane, but they actually get the Ember Spirit down. Razor stole 140 damage, but he can't do anything about it. Even without the Kunkka there, as long as they have Golem and like a Stomp and a Call Down, they're in a good spot.
Yeah, just the AoE team fight is super hard to fight before you actually have a way to deal with it. You know, BKBs, for example. It's just Fatal Bond into the Gyro AoE with the Elder Titan, damage amplification.
Man, RR is making some moves this game. He's doing a great job. Okay. BKB for Gyro. Huge item. You know, Kunkka's got his, whatchamacallit, Chrysalis. Working on a Blink Dagger, which he's very close to, actually. They do need to wait for the next ultimate, though, from the Warlock, which is a long ways away considering they just used it.
Yep, 110 seconds.
You know, it almost feels like the Nature's Prophet's not doing anything, right? If he gets this Orchid earlier, before they get the Yule Scepters on all these heroes, then they're probably fine, but I guess he probably used the Orchid on the Ember Spirit in that fight, and that's probably why they killed him. So I suppose it did do something in that engagement, but I'm waiting to see how he really impacts this game. I guess he just needs a Scythe, but he also needs a BKB, which is what he's building first.
They need a lot of items, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know what's odd about this game compared to the last game is, last game we had a big objective-taking hero in the Dragon Knight, right? This game, not so much. Like, Furion is good, but you already have to... He helps once you already get to that part. You know, after you win the fight, then you can summon the Treants and take a tower pretty quickly, but with DK you can really force the issue. Taskus Titans, they are not managing to force the issue in between these long ultimate cooldowns. They don't really have a way to do that. Like, Leshrack's been split pushing with the Edict, but, you know, that's about it. He's going to die pretty much every time he goes to a tower, so... Maybe
they get Ags at some point on the Razor. That might help.
But yeah, that could definitely help.
He's a ways away from that because he's building BKB. They're going to X him, but there's the burst for counter initiation. Kunkka might be the one that's dead. Yeah, they've gripped him. He needs help. There's nobody here.
He's tanky, though.
Yeah, he is very tanky. Now the Orchid comes out. They're going to leave this Bane to die. They weren't, like, nobody was there to hit the Kunkka while they gripped him. They were all kind of, like, all over the place. And they're still looking for Scamberloo, but he's going to get out, it looks like. Okay. Disaster averted again for the Kunkka.
Yeah, he's just so tanky.
Jamesy. Orchid?
Oh, boy, there's the Orchid.
They got the Torrent. Where's the... Okay. That's a crit. Well,
very stylish.
Yeah, he like blinked in and just hit. He like turned around and hit the. It was awkward looking. It worked out. They lost Fervian at the Gyrocopter. Not the end of the world. Skimberloo's still a big hero in this game for Titans. RR has an Invis rune. This could be monumental if they stay down here. I don't know. They didn't see the Invis rune, I don't believe. There's not a ward on it anyways, whether or not their hero actually saw it. It seems like they know that something is up, but I'm not sure.
Man, what a weird game. Being unable to punish the opponent in between a 2.5 minute cooldown.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like this entire game. The Warlock ultimate's used, but then it's not like Taskus Titans can group up to push a tower or anything. Like, there still is, the ET Stomp Spirit into Kunkka's abilities and Gyrocopter Call Down. Like, you have so many big teamfight abilities to watch out for that even when the Golem's down, you just are unable to force anything at all.
Yeah, and this that last minute and a half should have been the best time for them with Warlock Golem down. The thing is, it's gonna get harder now because the Nature's Prophet's building into Nullifier. So whoever they nullify and Orchid is going to die, or should die, correct? I mean, that's just how it should work.
Yep, counters out the Yules very nicely, so very good item. And he's going to have it pretty quickly, too.
Yeah, even the BKB of the Razor that he now just picked up, he's very tanky, though. Boots of Travel, RR has been trying to carry this game kind of on his own for the last, 5 to 10 minutes. He's found a lot of good epic kills. And they're forcing a push top. But there's not really that much of a threat other than Edict. We'll see if anybody rotates back. He's just going to Edict. They need to TP home. There's no glyph. They will Nature's Wrath, the creep wave, but Bimbo's just going to earn through it. He actually did so much damage to that tier 3.
Yep, very nice.
They will... Oh, that was awkward. And they're going to channel Epi. Lucas is dead. And that's really huge for Taskus Titans because they have a wave here now, too. They want to force it the buyback. They don't have everybody, though. The Ember Spirit is back at the base, so is the Bane, but man,
some bold plays from Raging Potato there. Solo last track, sitting there tanking the tower. Kunkka, he X's himself with the TP, so he doesn't have it for the catch because he wants to, handle the split push and then resume doing what he's doing on the map. But because of that, they weren't able to secure the kill.
I thought he was already TP back home and then he X'd in from his base, but you're telling me he X'd back to where he was previously?
Yep.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense as to why that went pretty poorly for them.
He was going for the ultra efficiency play, and they didn't expect Taskus Titans to be just sitting there waiting to respond,
At that point, you're just like, why is there a Razor here? What's happening? Why is there a Sand King here? They're just making those nice plays, and they might even find more. Fervian, good stomp. And they only 70, but it's still some damage. He does have BKB. There's the Orca coming out, the Ear Splitter. Golem. Wow. And he actually still gets the Yules off, but I think he's dead anyway. Now bottom, they're going to find FBZ. So even when they find a really favorable trade, they use a lot of abilities for it, and they still lose their Kunkka down bottom.
Yeah, I mean, they did get a huge bounty for killing the Razor, of course, who was the net worth leader, but
it went to the Warlock.
So many abilities. Yeah, he's a happy guy.
He's like, wow, I got 700 gold. Excellent, I'll get a 4-staff. I guess it's not the end of the world. But they'll take Roche, which is a way better bounty for them if they can get it. It's going to take a while.
The health on this Golem. 2,000 health.
Dude, Golems are super strong. If you can somehow get Ag's Refresher and, the Golem immunity, it's dumb how much it can do.
Yep, the support carries super hard if you can actually manage to get those items.
They're getting close to taking Roche. Yokum is kind of just making plays so that they can't get inside the pit. That's going to be Roche taken. There's the Aegis for Fervian. He can finally finish up his Aghanim Scepter here in the next 600 gold. Kunkka is absolutely okay dying as long as they can get that kind of objective, and they do. And now that's a pipe done, too, for Yokum, which is a really big item against all these heroes. It's all magical damage with the exception of Razor.
Yep. Huge. It'll cancel out pretty much the Sand King's damage. They have so much magic damage on the side of Taskus Titans, and now they have to deal with the Gyrocopter, BKB, and Aegis. You were talking about the BKB for Kunkka, and while it's not the most, he wants the big damage, the big crit, right?
Yeah.
He wants the fireworks to go off when he hits that big crit.
And he is going to still build Daedalus. He is getting the Demon Edge, so he'll have it. But he needs, I know it's not the flashiest thing, but it is a BKB. Now Bimbo's dead. Interesting BKB from Furby, and I don't think he needed to do that, but I guess it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yep, just wanted to secure that kill, but he did have the Aegis. I guess he had an Arcane Rune, so it's not that bad, right? But duration is going down.
Yeah.
That was his 10-second BKB.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised. If that's 9 or 8 seconds, I'd probably feel better about it. I don't think it matters. A kill's a kill. There's no tier 2 down here. I'm surprised they're in this lane. I know they wanted to get that kill. Meanwhile, look at the Radiant team. Look how many sentries they've placed inside their jungle.
So many.
This is like they're playing against a Nyx Assassin. There's not even a Shadowblade on this enemy team. They just want to try to deward their jungle as best as possible, and I suppose that makes sense. But now you want to... If you're going to do that much, you might just consider a fucking gem at this point.
Yeah, while a gem might be more cost efficient, they don't want to lose it, right? That's the big downside to that. But yeah, you're right. I mean... They don't want any wards in their jungle at all. They're desperately trying to keep control, but of course, look
oh my
at
god,
this.
they're still going to There's nothing they can do
They
about this
still
ward.
get a ward. Yep.
They're gonna watch
It's not
this
the greatest
replay and they're
ward,
gonna get so pissed. That's just.
It's not the best ward though, right? It doesn't scout out the jungle really. It only sees the lanes, so Taskus Titans can still pretty much just farm out the jungle pretty safely. So not the end one, but Scan sees Raging Potato.
That was awkward. Joachim like stutter stepped. He really wanted the rune. They have Golem. They're gonna drop it, and they get off the Orchid and Nullifier and Sand King, and he's just dead. Can't use it, and that's probably the better target to use it on. If they use it on Bimbo, who cares? But that's a 70-second Sand King death. Plus, it's a mega kill spree that's taken by this Nature's Prophet, which gets him well on his way to his BKB. Bimbo will try to run, but he's going to get X marks even as fast as this donkey is. It's not going to matter. It's a double kill for Lucas. That's a lot of gold in that fight going his way. And, of course, the Razor, the only thing he could do is split push top. Solid fight for Boom ID.
That's the first time I've ever heard Leshrac being called a donkey and a horse.
Yeah. I thought horse was overplayed, so I gave it some added flair, although it's probably more insulting than anything else. But you know what? He'll live with it.
Yep.
So they get the Nullifier Orchid.
buybacks.
Rip comes out onto the Lucas Nature's Prophet, but they actually break it. Still, the Ghost Ship coming in. They still have Aegis. BKB coming up for Skemperlu, so even if he dies, it's not the end of the world. But Fervian still has his BKB. He's holding on to it, so when he dies, that can come back in with that BKB. Jamesy almost dead. BKB actually gets the kill. That was almost the perfect timed RR Burrow Strike, but with Fervian's BKB, he's able to secure the kill onto the Ember Spirit. Now they come in, the Chunka, big crit from FBZ with a Tidebringer. That's immediately going to bring down the Razor, who has no buyback. And they can just Shadow Word. They can heal back up with the Urn Charges. Jamesy, he did buy back. Sleight of Fist avoided the homing this only to get hit by it a second later. Bane's going to try to come in. He has been spamming out the Enfeeble, which is, of course, on the Gyrocopter, but that still means that FBZ is going to have a lot of damage. So they get the full set of racks. They get a buyback onto the Ember Spirit. They get a couple of other kills. And now Boom ID, they're the ones in the driver's seat here in Game 2.
Yep, and Sustain is the name of the game. They've got the Urn, Pipe, and, of course, Shadow Ward from the Warlock, keeping these heroes pretty much sitting at full HP the entire time. You also have Kunkka to XTP somebody back to base, so you can just keep resume fighting. And it's Furion as well. Like, they never have to actually leave the enemy side of the map.
Yep, it's true. The sustain is unreal. You're absolutely right. And really, the only way that Titans can get across the map is just by getting kills. Nice Yules, but Joachim's still pretty difficult to bring down. The good news is that the rest of Boom ID are just leaving him to die. He knows he's dead. So some extra gold going to Taskus Titans. But at this point, they can take the tier 2 top, just wait for the next Roshan and go from there. So there's going to be a lot of moves that need to be made by Titans in order to get back into this game. Help!
Uh-oh, not help.
I mean, Bimbo's alone. He could...
But he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
He can kill him in 2 auto attacks.
The thing is, he's super fast on this track. Wow. That was nice. I didn't even notice that the TP Nature's Prophet was coming in. Epicenter getting channeled. This is a big fight. The Golem gets dropped down. It kind of whips.
Oh, the Orchid.
The Orchid does come out onto RR, and now they've nullified Jamesy, who has to run. The Shadow Word might just take him down. It does not, as he remnants away. Fatal Bonds? Dead. See ya. The Shadow Word was still on him. I think the animation just went because he remnanted away. Good BKB from Fervian, looking for RR, so the Burrow Strike does nothing, but the Static Link is there. Fervian needs to be a little careful. He's actually just dead, I think. 2 auto attacks, Plasma Field. He has buyback. They're actually pretty far in. I think Skibberlu might be dead anyways. A lot of damage to Lucas. Good stomp, though, and actually keeps these Nature's Prophet alive somehow.
FBZ cleaved off the jungle camp and killed Sand King there. He got another crit off it as well for that 1,000 damage cleave.
Stylish.
Yep. Rough stuff. You know, the Fury on Orchid was so good that fight. Sand King shift Q their blink, so if you're charging Epi and then it gets canceled by an Orchid and you've already shift Q'd your blink, you're going to blink into them without your Epi actually going off.
Yeah.
That's what happened there, so you just blink into your death.
Yeah, not only do you blink without your Epicenter going, but then you, of course, blink without your big stun to either get you out of trouble or to find more initiation. Good Nightmare. Keeps Bimbo alive. Jamesy encouraging his team from the sideline. So remember, both of these teams are vying for the top spot here in Group A. And if they trade 1-1, you know, it's going to be very interesting with the rest of the season how it goes in the group stages. And that's looking likely at this point. Boom ID are like 1 or 2 fights away from winning this. You know, they have an 8K lead. They could just wait for Roshan, but with everybody dead, there's no reason to. And Gyrocopter has come back nicely in this game, and the rest of the team doing really well around him. Boom ID. And again, it's a lot to do with that, I think, that draft again. Like, we saw there was so much team fight. It was going to be really tricky for Taskus Titans. And as expected, it kind of went that way once they started getting the golems off.
Yeah, I think we've seen the biggest flaw in Taskus Titans against with what they're playing up against. They've had no way to abuse this long downtime in between ultimates. They don't have any way to force Roshan or to force these tower pushes, or even just fight. Like, they were unable to fight even without the Warlock ult.
Yeah, it's like the biggest strength of their team in the first game, having that DK, taking those fights and then taking the objectives off the back of those fights. Now they don't have the DK, and their game looks so much different in comparison.
Yep, agreed.
But the thing is, they didn't want to pick DK against Kunkka, right?
Right.
That's just not a matchup they wanted. So it's tricky. But anyway. Game's not over yet. It is a 10K lead. Only one set of racks. You know, Boom ID were down 2 sets of racks. They were still fighting and winning fights against Taskus Titans in game number 1. So it's not the end yet.
Yep, that's true.
Let's see if it's an instant Roche respawn.
So, one big items coming out. Sand King almost has Aghanim Scepter. That'll help in these team fights navigate a bit more. Razor just completed the Shivas, so extremely tanky. I mean, these items, they're nice, but
they're not game winning.
Exactly, right? They don't feel like they're gonna change anything really. I guess Lestrak almost has his BKB. That's a pretty big deal.
Yes. That might be helpful. But the other items, like Scotty keeps this Gyrocopter alive, you know.
Yep.
He doesn't need the damage because the Kunkka cleaves once and he gets a crit, and they just win the fight based off that. So you're like Ags plus like MKB or whatever is nice, like not even Daedalus, Rapier or something is nice, but just having the tank ability in this game is probably better. I mean, the Nullifier item was that the game-winning item for Nature's Prophet? Because it felt like once they got that, they really started winning fights. You know,
it helps them deal with these with the triple Yules, right?
Yes.
It actually gives you a way to counteract that and to get some key pickoffs. Like they managed to use it on the Sand King. He sat there attempting to use his Yules. Just, doesn't work. It helps, but I don't know. I never felt like this hero was that much of an issue.
You're right.
Big smoke coming out from Taskus Titans, looking to see who they can catch. Maybe they can catch Kunkka and chain stun him, but he's got 3,000 HP.
So
with
he has a regen rune and a BKB.
Yep. Well, if they can catch Warlock,
they're going to find him. This is right as Roche is respawning the Remnant in. Good force away. He needs to get the Golem off. He can't, but this is Death Golem coming out. And Fervian pops the BKB, but the Grip comes in, but it gets canceled immediately by the silence from Lucas. And this is going the way of the Dire team. And Skimberloo has to run, but he cannot make it out in time. Fervian gets a double kill. They've got the Earth Splitter. Jamesy's going to get X back as well. He will Yules himself for the time being, but getting out of this is going to be tricky. He has no more Remnants available. The Nullifier comes out, Sleight of Fists it, but he's still dead anyway. It's a double kill for St. Dream Lucas. And, even though they get that Warlock kill, man, was the follow-up there for Boom ID. The turn, absolutely critical. Great fight for them. They're going to Epi onto Fervian. And it's a lot of damage. He will survive for now. And RR is like, oh, God, the rest of their team's coming. They give him the urn. Nice Yules, avoids the stomp, but he's dead anyway. Although he almost kills, he almost brings Fervian with him, but that might do it, I think, for this game.
Yep. It's a weird concept, right? You think, oh, we see Warlock, we need to burst this guy so he doesn't get his ultimate off. But check out that talent. Level 20 talent summons a golem on death.
He just got level 22. Look at his experience. Like, he must have had it right at the beginning of that fight. I mean, I'm sure he got it a little bit before that, but still. GG's called. Series will be tied at 1 apiece. And that's how it'll end. That last fight, yeah, I mean, they kill the Warlock, the Golem comes out, then they're still doing okay. They get the grip off into the Gyrocopter, but the TP comes in immediately from the Nature's Prophet, and he Orcas the Bane and cancels it immediately. And then Bane's usefulness in that fight just ends. Like, if you don't get a full grip off, you feel like you don't do anything. Brain Sap's not going to do anything, and if you barely does anything, there's no Nightmare, of course, because the BKBs.
What a miserable game to play Bane.
Yeah,
right? You
it's
have
true.
so many AoE abilities that either interrupt you or just flat out kill you.
Man, his net worth was way less than I thought it was. He literally had Tranquil Boots, a Wind Lace, a TP Scroll, and a Magic Wand. That's 2,000 total net worth. And I'm sure a lot of that also wards and stuff like that. So
The sentries, right? That army of sentries on their side of the map.
actually, we can check out how many he bought.